Welcome to the Let's Eat Grandma Career Warrior Podcast.
So you understand now the emotions that you're feeling. You are reframing them. It's a really important practice. We kind of hinted at it, but like, for example,
Yes.
let's say you're thinking, I can't get a job because of COVID. A reframe of that would be, this is the perfect time to find a job because everyone is virtual. So there's more opportunities to work anywhere. And now you also have time to gain clarity on what you truly care about. And if you think about that, some people may pause and say, what do you mean I have time? Well, if you were fired from a job, if you were laid off, you are probably receiving unemployment benefits. And I've been on unemployment before. That's a cushion that you can use to actually give yourself a second to say, what do I want? And now can I take action to go network and work towards my dream organizations, the places that I really want to work? Every time you move from a job to another job, it should be an improvement. You should know the culture you want to work for. You should know your values. You should learn more about the work that you care about doing. You should learn more about the next step you want for your career, because it is a career. It is not a job. There are going to be multiple jobs along the way. So I'd even say when you lose a job, if anything, that has actually fast forwarded your career to the next best spot, which is such, I think, a powerful way to look at, the next job that you're going to get, or unemployment. It's just, if you can reframe this thought of I can't get a job because of COVID to this is the perfect time to find a job and one that's best suited for me or more suited for me, then we can start breaking that down into actual goals and steps. Because when you don't have a job, it's easy to get lost in the days because we don't really have structure. But then we take that reframe, we put it on a Post-it note, put it on our computer, and then really make a structure for unemployment. Like, unemployment is a job. There's maybe an hour of diving into who you are, what you care about, what you want to do next. Maybe, hiring someone that is really good at writing resumes, like someone that's interviewing me right now. But really preparing yourself for the next step, and you can become proactive about it. We can get into what goal setting would look like in this stage, but I know we're still talking about fear. Reframing, the whole purpose of it is to change past programs, because who we are today is based on who we were yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. It's really that simple. Who you are today is a culmination of your experiences. And those experiences have built programs in our mind. I like to think of it as everything we do, even especially our thoughts, have created almost like rivers within our brain. And rivers, what I mean by that is water likes to flow in the easiest path that it can find. And so our programs are basically these dugout channels within our brain. So when maybe you're going to go into a networking event or apply for a job, our initial response, maybe in our mind from an old program, is, you're not good enough, or don't do that. What happens if you get rejected? So your brain thinks, oh, I have to stay safe. And that's where we go initially. A lot of us go initially.
True.
And so
you're right.
What we have to do to build habits is start digging out new trenches for new rivers and stop using the old river as much as possible. But that's really tough. And that has, just like with any habit, we actually have to hold ourselves accountable and tell ourselves to do it instead of just think we automatically can do it. Because eventually, if you tell yourself to do something enough, the river is dug deep enough, usually deeper than old programs, because you find out that they're more, like, they lead you towards greater success, that you start accepting that path more and more and more. But to be able to do it, you have to write it down each day. Put it as an alarm in your phone. You have to get an accountability buddy to, maybe let's say you're looking for a job, to call them through Zoom for an hour a day, and this is your networking time. So you hold yourselves accountable, and you compete about how many jobs you're going to apply to, or you compete to how many people you're going to send an outreach message to. And so it really is forcing yourself to do these things, just like you would have to force yourself to go to a gym. And it's like, just like working out, if you, let's say, if you buy a gym membership, that might work, right? If you spend a lot of money in a gym membership, like a specialty gym, probably will work better, which is why coaching is, partially it's accountability, it's investment. And
get off your butt and go. You have to do it.
Yeah. And if the gym is closer to you, you're more likely to go. If your gym's in your house, you're more likely to go. So then when it comes to doing things that you're not used to, like networking, Do you have LinkedIn always up on your screen as your homepage? Do you have a list of people in front of you all day so it's constantly reminding yourself of it? And if you have someone you work out with, if you go to the gym with, if they call you up and bring you with, so do you have someone that's more experienced, that's willing to guide you and coach you for maybe a couple times a week? So these are all things that we do in our life. Like I bet you our listeners have held themselves to new habits. They've committed themselves to new habits. This is the same thing. When it comes to reframing ideas, you have to say, I'm just going to commit to this completely. I'm going to make a commitment in my mind, not this is something I want to do, this is something I have to do. And then I'm going to structure my life in a way that makes that actually happen and makes it easier for me so I don't have to fight to do it. Is the goal rejection? Because that's what you're focused on if you don't have that reframe. The goal is to find an opportunity, to find a new job, to find a person to connect with. And so it doesn't matter. Like the no's don't matter. The no's only mean that you're getting closer to a yes. And people use this in sales a lot. They know that if they get X amount of no's, that then they're going to eventually get a yes. And you can figure this out with anything in your life. How many no's am I getting? How many yeses? Like with job applications, it's like a lot of people that are entering the market initially, they think, okay, if I apply for 3 jobs, I might get 2 interviews. Doesn't work like that. You apply for 20 jobs, you might get 3 or 4 phone screenings. And then you might get 50% of those, maybe 1 or 2 might lead to the next round. So you're not like the no's don't matter, other than the fact that if you keep getting no's, they're eventually going to lead to a yes. And if they are not leading to a yes, let's look at your tools. Let's look at how you're presenting yourself, because for some reason it's not completely aligning with what other people are looking for at this point in time. And something I want to mention too, in terms of accountability, and mentors, it's really important to find people that could normalize your fears for you. Okay. Like for example, a lot of the clients that I have right now, they have their slew of failures where they've been fired from work, from jobs. They went to school to get a certification, but ended up not working in that field at all. And so now they're doubting themselves. Like there are so many moments in their life where they have this sense of fear, rejection, and mistakes. But then I have them go talk to someone that has done something like they've done or experienced it, and maybe they're a few years ahead. And now they can normalize this area of their life and realize it's not a big deal. It's not going to drastically change your life. So see if you can find people that are going through what you're doing, what you've gone through, or have gone through what you're going through, and just have a conversation with them. It will really help.
Let's just say, and I speak from someone's perspective here, but Dr. Benjamin, I have literally failed a million times. I've just been going through it so much that I don't even know where to start, and I even have a hard time listening to this type of advice. So what are you going to tell me to do, and really, how do I pull myself out of this rut?
2 things I'd love for you to do. I'm almost tempted not to say one of them, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Say it.
Is to actually start exploring your failures. So to list them all out. And to figure out how you failed in those moments. But then also what those moments have given to you as gifts and how you've learned from them. So to really start exploring these failures for what they've actually caused in your life, and then also what they've caused in a positive way. I'd even suggest to share that list with someone that you respect. It's so interesting. The more that we talk about our failures, and I think a really good example is you're really angry about something the day before, and you wake up and you try to explain it to someone, and it doesn't seem like you should be angry about it because it's like
that's the headspace I was in at the time.
And so we detach our emotion from it. So a lot of times when we gain more awareness of something, we end up detaching ourselves from the emotion. And when we share it with someone, we also can do the same. We disassociate with it. So I'd say that would be one activity. The second activity would be to actually start exploring all of your successes and all of your milestone moments in your life, from where you've evolved and where you've changed, and to create kind of a win log in a way. I think you may be surprised, because that question really highlights the fact of where your focus is right now. And then I'd also write out a list of I added an extra assignment. Write out a list of your goals and how your failures have led you closer to your goals and how your successes have led you closer to your goals. And then what you can do moving forwards to keep working towards them.